What's poppin', everybody? Welcome to Culture Popped Season 2, Episode 9. I'm here with my gents. We've got Aaron Sparrow and Dolan in the house. Gentlemen, how are you doing?
Doing well. Having a great week. God, it's a great week. I'm so in love with this week.
Great weeks are good. We love that you love the week, but love it in appropriate ways, not weird ways. Don't be like
don't ruin my Valentine's Day.
Shut your mouth, Josh. Shut it right now. Well, I'm glad. Is there like announcement worthy specifics or just things?
No. Well, I did sign an NDA this week, so I can't talk about that. But also just personally, it's been a really nice week. So I'm in really good spirits. You might get like ultra positive Aaron tonight. So like whatever we talk about, you guys will be like, this is the worst thing ever, and I'm like, it's all beautiful, man.
Does that mean we need to have your alter ego here?
No, I won't go that far. I'll still be honest.
Awesome. Well, speaking of NDAs, we might be talking about NDAs in a second because the main topic for tonight. But Dolan, how are you, brother?
I'm doing great as well. Like you said, we talked about it a little bit later. I sent you a script I just finished. It was the first draft of it, but sent it on to Mr. Murat Michaels. I won't say exactly what it is, but yeah, it's just great to know. Like, it's just Aaron and I have talked about it. When you're in a groove, like the engine's burning, you don't want to stop. Because it's so hard to start and stop and to get that engine going again. So it's like I'm trying to keep going. Trying to keep the hamster turning the wheel as much as I can with these projects I'm working on.
Absolutely. Yeah, I got to read a top secret project that he can't talk about right now in detail anyways, but read it. I thought it was really good, a lot of fun, really action packed. And yeah, I'm excited for more. Also, I've seen like a sneak peek of some of the art for this and so when it all comes together, I'm really stoked. But
you're telling me. You're telling me. Like every day's like Christmas with this artist when they get a new page from this guy.
I will just put it this way: I saw the art before I got the script, and when you sent me the art, my response was, "Oh my god, there's actual backgrounds!" So
action is happening. What is this? A current day comic?
So a lot of good stuff here, and just for tonight, we're not the only bro Cephuses that are going to be on the stream. We have a special guest. The school system decided that they're going to have spring break in certain parts, so we have our favorite little Billy Madison in the house, Maxfield Von Priestley. Hi, Max. How are you?
Hi.
I love your little school hoodie, Max. It's so cute.
A C U. That spells.
When you call Max schoolboy, like in my head, I flashed back to playing Shenmue on the Sega Dreamcast. Because I just remember walking through town, there were like these two tough schoolgirls that were like smoking. And when you would go by, they would always give you shit. They'd be like, why don't you get out of here, schoolboy? And like they were always calling him schoolboy. And it's like that just flashed into my head when you called Max that.
I love it.
Apropos of nothing.
Nothing. We're pretty much having a little bit of like Max's man cave on Tuesday night tonight because it's that same crew.
Yeah, I guess so, huh? That's right.
Yeah.
So
except you got a lead and Max gets to relax.
That's right. He gets to do his little like nerd crafting that we were giving him shit about. What are you crafting, Max? Let's show everyone that maybe they don't watch your channel. So what are you working on?
So Games Workshop just released the old world set to the Bretonia Warhammer figures. I've been doing some of those and then some Chaos Knights, some Armies of Darkness, Slaves to Darkness stuff. I've got some guys that I've primed and haven't painted yet. So I've got all kinds of fun stuff tonight that I'm just going to be working on while we talk about some fun topics. But yeah, man, thanks again for having me. Spring break is fun because we finally get our nights back. We're not going to school in the evenings. And so I told you last week, I said, hey, if you need an extra guest, if you want another person, I can hop on and talk. but I will most likely be being a nerd.
That's fine. That's fine.
With...
We'll allow that. However, what is up with this under your name here? What is going on there? What's happening?
Did you change that, or was that from...
I didn't do it. I didn't do anything.
Oh, it's because I never changed it since my alter ego came on.
Oh no.
I mean,
at
least people can see that I'm inclusive.
Sure. That's great. Real quick before we kind of get in tonight and say hi to the chat and everything, I think Max, you and I are in the process of working on something, and I think it might have to do with this.
I always forget about the last part. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I just want to do it like I was doing a voiceover for that. I was like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So
it's always somebody's first time.
I should have gotten Aaron to do a voiceover. Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, I've got a series Cherry Pop that'll be starting soon, and I guess the first focus that we're doing is Max has never seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Angel, so we're making our way through that, and we've had a few streams on your channel for members, doing kind of like a watch along, and we'll watch it and we kind of discuss it during the ad breaks because we're those people that don't pay for the ad-free version of Hulu. It's Hulu. Give me a break.
Yeah, come on.
I'm not paying premium for Hulu. But yeah, so we're watching Buffy. We're I think 2 episodes away from finishing the first season for you.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think we just have like 1 or 2 more, and then we'll be going on to the second season. And it's been great because you have been able to kind of clue me in on some of the episodes that we missed or some of the episodes that we skipped just due to time's sake and for the sake of my own sanity.
Correct. That right there.
Yes, yeah. But to have you like have us both watching this together has been a godsend, because it's great to have someone who's very in tune with these characters, knows the storyline, and understands like what I'm getting myself into. So it's been fun to have you there and watch this with me. And yeah, it's cool for the members too, because they get to access it with us and they get to watch it with us if they feel like they want to do that as well. Because I know that a lot of the members on my channel have not seen Buffy either. So yeah, man, it's been a blast. I can't wait to go over it. I really can't wait to watch Angel. And yeah, that'll be because we just found out like his origin, just a bit of his origin on that last episode, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, he's my boy. He's cool. Yeah,
you're thinking you've gotten stuff, and it's like the tippiest tip of the iceberg of everything you're gonna eventually find out. Yeah.
You've just been given the tip.
Yeah,
just that tip.
Well, it is my first time, so
that is true.
Just the tip is good.
But yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I can't wait to kind of get into season 2 and keep going. But stay tuned. Go check out his channel, subscribe, become a member, and you can see some of our watch-alongs, and then come join us when we have a discussion of season 1 for Cherry Popped. But before we get to tonight's topics, let's say hello to the chat before we get a little spicy up in her. So we do have Cajun Corey in the house. Hello, sir. We've got Wildcat 1970. What's up, Wildcat? I can't remember if I've seen you before, so welcome to the stream. Sorry we were late. As Zax is saying, I like to tease. I do like to tease, especially a man with the shoulders of Zach.
And there we go.
I can't hear you, Josh.
There we go. We lost Josh. So now he's muted. Now he's on fire. What's happening? Now he's Italian.
Managgia.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yeah, we can.
Cool.
Good.
Oh.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna go back to doing the oh yeah voice.
So initially I could hear you, but now I can't. In Italian, managgia.
Wait, Josh, keep talking. Keep talking, and I'm just gonna do your dialogue.
It's like, come on, yeah.
So here are my unsolicited opinions on Israel, says Josh.
Okay, well, this is starting off swimmingly well.
Yes.
We'll pray that doesn't keep happening. It's saying that my internet's dropping, and that's why it's doing it. So, if it happens,
you're supposed to let the beat drop, not the internet, Josh. Come on.
Well, I'll drop some beats on somebody if this shit doesn't stop happening. All right, we're gonna see if we can get through these comments. We've got Shieldwall in the house. Shieldwall, one of my YouTube Avengers, by the way. We have another series, Marvelous Monday, launching April 1st. And no, that is not an April Fool's joke. But Shield is my secret weapon. So come tune in for that. And then we'll have more of that coming as well. We've got the Woad Warrior. Woad Warrior. It's Tuesday, isn't it? It's Tuesday, isn't it? It is, mate. It is. Let's see who else is in here.
We should announce Woad Warrior to the tune of Dream Warriors. It's
Dream
Woad Warrior.
We have Miss Sassy Sasquatch in the house.
Sassy Sasquatch.
What's up? She says, Josh and friends, hello. That lady's going to be kissing up on me in less than a month. So, because I'm straight and a lady killer. We've got Yuri Volti, too lewd, indeed too lewd. I don't know what you're talking about. Not too lewd. We've got J Ravage 77 in the house. Yeah, MVP is here. MVP is here.
Hi, I'm behind you. Oh no, there we go. What's up, dude?
Someone's gonna tune in that's never watched us before and be like, "Are these people okay? Are they?
What's going on with them?
Are they slow?
Did Aaron paint a rooster? What's going on?"
Yeah, right. We've got Yul Carter in the house. Classic culture pop episode, of course. Always.
Yul. What's up, Yul?
We have Darth Messiah, Josh, the Scuff King or Queen Slay
or Queen.
That's the only thing.
Queen and King. He's a queen.
Yeah, I am a queen. So like Echo can be the queen pin, but I am the queen.
The Riz Queen.
The Riz Queen. There you go. Ooh. I'll take that. Yeah, Sassy. StreamYard has been wonky lately. Yeah. Well, we should just blame StreamYard on your little like chipmunk dolphin voice thing from Sunday. That's totally what it was. And then we have Carolyn's boobs in the house. I'm only here for Maxie.
Oh, that's adorable. Well, thank you, Carolyn's boobs.
Yeah, that's okay. I get all my validation on Wes's channel, so that's fine.
All right, we are going to go ahead and get into tonight's topics. Some of them might be spicy. Some might piss some people off. That's not our intention. If you've never tuned in, we're here to try to discuss topics that will help make the industries we cover better. But first up, we're really going to focus on the comics industry and just how people need to stop talking. Just shut up, stop talking. Don't say anything. Stop talking. And
yeah, just the old hey Brick, maybe stop talking for a while.
Right. And first up on this list, maybe because I'm a total masochist and waiting for people to come absolutely like lynch me or something, but Eric July.
His picture.
It's a great picture. It's a funny picture.
It is. It is.
Eric, please stop talking. Okay, so let me preface this by saying, and we'll have a little commentary on this. I think a lot of what Eric is doing is really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I like the concept behind Rippaverse. I like that he's trying to create a platform. I like that he is kind of, bucking the trend of the big two and saying, we don't need you. I like that he is bringing in quality creators that the big two have shunned or blacklisted. I think those are all good things. I like that he's having art competitions to help give people platform that haven't had an opportunity, and that they're winning these contests, and then he's then pulling them on books that he's announcing. Like, to me, these are all super incredible things. Like, this is exactly what I want to see in the industry. I want to see people who've had their voices shut down or diminished get their chance to actually tell their stories and do quality work. And then we have to have things like the Yaira trailer come out. And look, we kind of discussed and laughed at the Yaira trailer, and I'm not going to trash it. It was a bad trailer. Like, we had fun last week kind of laughing at the accents and going on and on. And if that had been the case, it would have been done. Everyone would have just stopped talking about it. But instead, Eric has to come out and make a ton of comments that it's just like, dude, you're only making it worse. Please just shut your mouth. Because you're giving ammunition to the people that are legitimate haters and want to come after you. So, Max, were you about to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say, and I think what's tough about that too is that there are legitimate haters of Eric July that hate him just for the sake of hating him because they don't like him, right? But then you get people who are legitimately like, hey, I didn't like the trailer, or they're like, hey, but is this like, why did you make a trailer in the first place? Why not focus on the comics? Or maybe, hey, I really liked Alpha Core, but I didn't really care for ISOM #2, or whatever their concerns are. And now those people are being labeled as detractors, right? We saw people that were coming out and said like, hey, I didn't know that there was someone who was utilizing SketchUp, backgrounds and utilizing these like architectures that you can basically plug and play into this comic book, and I don't really necessarily want to pay $45 for that. And then Eric put out a shirt that said something like 3D assets, 3D assets, right? And stuff like that is never going to win over those people who are on the fence. Like, right. For the people who are just, enemies of Eric, Eric shouldn't even worry about those people. But for the people who are legitimately on the fence and being like, hey, I've got some criticisms or whatever, but then he calls them detractors and makes fun of them and has these t-shirts that come out. It's like, man, dude, that's not a good look. Like, no. And like you said, we were rooting for his success. We want this comic book company to do great. But when that stuff happens, it's really difficult to, I guess, be on his side when those things happen and you get legitimate concerns being called as detractors.
Yeah. And look, you mentioned the whole 3D assets thing, so we'll talk about that because we touched on it last week to a degree about the kind of the feud that's going on between Ethan and Skyver and Eric. And look, Ethan can be brought into this conversation equally as much of hey, sometimes just stop talking. Yeah. I would say the difference is Ethan has made this a brand of his, and you know what you get. Mm-hmm. Like he's not gonna shy away from this is who I am and this is what I do. My issue here is that Eric is trying to present stuff one way and then coming about it a different way. And what I mean by that is he kind of got his built up for calling out these studios and these books for the crap content that they have. And then he's coming around and he's doing like this the Yaira trailer. And, it is what it is. It wasn't great. I watched it. My thoughts were actually, I think Gary from Nerdrotic had the best kind of comment on this of like, hey, you know what? He's trying to work things up from the ground up. He tried something new. It didn't work. Move on. But then you have the behind the scenes of the Yaira trailer come out. And like one of the things that Eric says is like, oh, I keep calling out these studios for their cheap ass productions and bad stories. So now it's time to put up or shut up. And I'm like, I don't know if this is the have you watched your trailer, dude? Because it's
those companies started out making movies in the 90s and they were about that level. It is a callback to like what we got back then. Look, I thoroughly enjoyed the Yaira trailer.
Of course,
because in the same way that I enjoyed Madam Web, as I was, or the same way that I enjoy a Neil Breen film, where I was just like, this is delightful schlock, and I got like a huge laugh out of it. Did it sell the book? I don't know. I don't know if that trailer would result in any sales. If I had watched that trailer, if I was part of the team and I watched that trailer beforehand, I might have said, maybe we shouldn't release this. Just because I don't know that it got any butts in the seats. I could be wrong. It could have like gone viral and drawn more people to the product, and then people were like, well, I got to check this out, and bought some books. So I could be wrong there. But overall, I don't think it didn't. Knowing that trailer, the scenes in it, the things that were portrayed were chosen by the Soska sisters, did not fill me with confidence to buy the book by the Soska sisters.
Correct.
And I think that's obviously what the trailer needed to do, is it needed to convince me that I needed to buy this book. So I tend to agree with Gary. I think that an animated trailer, that they should stick with that. I don't think that the live action stuff is going to work. I think it's probably too expensive, too hard to pull off, even with plugins and digital backgrounds and all the stuff that you can bring together. Because just the acting wasn't good. The scenes chosen weren't good. If you were somebody who was just going into this blind, I think that you would just spend way too much time questioning what exactly is this?
Absolutely.
And I don't think that I'm a detractor for saying that, because like you said at the beginning, Josh, I'm a huge supporter of what Eric is doing with the Rippaverse. I think that the fact that he does hire other people, the fact that he is building a ship that is employing other people is far better than what most of the crowdfunded spaces are doing out there. He's really trying to build something, and I respect that. And all power to him for that. But I do think that maybe, Adam Frey said in the chat that he needs someone around him who's not a yes man. Does he have that? I have to assume that he does, but also maybe Eric's a really strong personality, and even people who, push back against him, maybe he's not hearing it. I don't know, but not on the inside. So I would say, as an exercise, Max and I were talking about me going through ISOM 1 and 2 and just doing an edit on it and then sending it to him and saying, like, this is what I would have done for you. This is how I would have, I would have edited the book for you, and I would have tried to, make your vision as strong as it could be, and send that over to him as maybe like a learning exercise. But then again, he's got like Chuck Dixon working with him, so he doesn't need me. He is actually making steps to improve the criticisms that he's gotten.
The Soskas are the ones that are doing the editing. I think they're even editing Chuck Dixon.
Oh, really?
What?
Yeah, and that's those were the credits that I believe I remember seeing, that the Soskas are the actual ones editing. So that's why I say I love that he's hiring these individuals that have been in the industry for a while, whether it's Kanan White or Chuck Dixon. However, he also needs that same type of talent on editorial if he's going to have these hard hitters. And I don't know if Soska sisters will be able to do that. They did the good Black Widow comic book that he really liked, and that's awesome. But to edit your entire universe, it might not. But I could be wrong. I need to verify that again and look at the comic and look at the website. But I thought I remember seeing that the Soskas were editing.
Give me a minute. I'm gonna go grab ISOM 2. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'm looking up digitally right now. I'm checking it out.
Yeah, I mean, Armando Lopez says and editing Mike Barron too. So
what
possibly.
So I'm meeting Mike Barron on Friday. I'm meeting him and
oh, cool, man.
And awesome. Yeah, they're going to be here in Indy for IndyCon. We're going to try to go out to dinner, but I'm going to talk to Mike about that. Like, are the Soska sisters really editing you? That is going to come up. Trust me.
Yeah,
nice.
That'd be a good question to ask him. So, but yeah, I was gonna say too about the trailer. I think there's something to be said about the fact that I think a lot of people were confused with what it was, because initially I think it came out and people were like, oh my God, does this mean that we're going to get like a Yaira show? Like, is Rippa going to be in Rippa Studios, or is it Rippaverse? Like Rippaverse Studios or Rippaverse Comics? Like, is he going to delve into Hollywood? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah.
And when people started saying that, people were like, we can't wait for the Yaira show. But then Eric clarified on his video, he's like, we ain't doing that at all. This was just a trailer for the comic. And so that's where Aaron's point comes in. It's like, okay, well, if that's all it was, if this was not a glimpse into the future of like what you could possibly do with, you know, potential shows or movies, did it do what it needed to do, which is sell the comic book? And that's what your trailer needs to do. And on that premise, I really can't say if it did or not. So there's a lot of just hullabaloo around the trailer itself, because I think a good portion of people, whether they recognize it or not, or whether they'll say it or not, really didn't even know what it was or why it existed until he had to clarify, this is just a trailer for the book, and it is not anything that we're going to do with like it's not a trailer for like a TV show or movie. So
I'll add a couple of things to that. So one, I'm going to say, yes, you're spot on. You know, the trailer came out and there were people asking like, hey, you know, is this going to be more? Is this going to lead into a TV show or, you know, like an indie film, yada, yada, yada. And then he's like, no, it's absolutely not. It's just a trailer. I don't know where people are getting this from. But we have to rewind from the no, I don't know where people this is getting this from, and look at the fact that they released the trailer and then the very next day they released the behind the scenes. And that's where a lot of people are getting this from. Yeah. Like you start talking about how there's so much more that's going to happen, and maybe he meant something else. Maybe he didn't mean there's so much more filming. That's so fine. Like the context, it could have been taken out of context and people assumed. However, you have multiple actors in here talk about how there's more coming. There's more. I keep hearing there's more on the way. So you've got all these people saying like there's going to be more. And then he doesn't seem to understand why people think there's going to be more. And I'm like, you got to kind of align yourself a little bit to understand. You basically said there will be more.
There is precedent for it because, I mean, he is a musician. He did do music videos. So it sounds, I mean, it's not outside the realm of possibility for him to do one for this.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, even when he delved into animation too, like no one thought that he was going to do animation. They just thought he was going to do comics. So I know he's dipping his feet into his toes into a couple different, you know, aspects of entertainment in general. But you know, that also comes with a lot of humility when you are just starting to, because what was it that Gary said? He is on the ground floor, basically creating a lot of this stuff from nothing, you know, to where he's at now. And so I think he has to recognize that and say, you know, hey, I'm just, you know, just kind of entering the Hollywood scene, and it's not going to be Shakespeare right off the bat, you know, but I also have to recognize that like I can't be attacking people if they don't like it.
Well, right. And I think had he taken that approach of being like, guys, look, we're trying to figure stuff out. We're experimenting with new things. Some of it's not going to work. If he had just said that, I think we had way less people kind of coming after him. I think it's the fact that he is defensive about this stuff that causes the problem. And that's part of why I'm saying Eric, stop talking, is like he's showing that he's getting defensive about like everything. And I'm like, dude, just take, like, you're in the mainstream at this point. Like, yeah, you're not with the big two, but the numbers you're pulling, you're in the mainstream at this point. You're showing up on you know, major networks to discuss your books. Like, you're in the mainstream.
You're crushing every other crowdfunder out there. Like, you are the gold standard for crowdfunding. Correct. At least as far as like what you're bringing in.
Right. And that's like you have set the bar for what these creators want to be able to make and do. Like that is, there's no denying that. I mean, even the fact that the Yaira book crossed $1 million in support within 24 hours, like that speaks volumes. There are so many people that wish they could get a fraction of that. So there's no denying that. But because you're there, you're going to have people that hate you because you're having that success. You're going to have people that hate you because they're jealous of that success. Like it's just going to happen. But you got to learn that when you get to this platform, people are going to talk shit. They're going to talk shit about you. They're going to talk shit about your product. They're going to talk shit about how you manage things. They're going to find stupid things to talk shit about. You just got to let it go. Like everything doesn't, you don't have to comment on everything. And that would be my advice to him is like, hey, dude, stop talking. It's not even worth it. Like,
and I understand. I absolutely understand that, like, when you are doing something that you've never done before and you are having massive financial and sales success, and somebody who's never done it, who's never been in your shoes, who's never taken that chance, who's never built it the way that you've built it, comes along and says you're doing it wrong, I get that you want to push back on that. I absolutely do. There's going to be a lot of piss ants that come at you and try to tell you how to do what they've never done. I get the aggravation. I understand why you're aggravated, but again, like Josh is saying, you don't need to respond to every single hater.
That's the big thing. And I noticed that because even on my YouTube channel, Drew, we've got some guys that will come onto our Friday night show. And I mean, they've been doing this for the past year now, maybe, where they will come on and say just some of the worst stuff about me or Kyle or Drew. No one said anything about Aaron or Josh because you guys are great. But the three of us get pretty get some comments that are pretty heated against us, and that's fine. And when I first started getting those comments, my initial response was, oh my God, I got to do a video about this, responding to this, because that's not right? That's false. That person shouldn't be saying that thing about me. Or I was like, or maybe I should comment and respond back to him. And then I thought about it and I was like, I don't have time. I don't know this person, and what they're saying is an absolute lie. So why would I spend the time to even respond to something like that? And I noticed that Eric does respond to a lot of like nobodies on Twitter. When if he's the CEO of this company, he needs to be thinking big picture, not wondering what EVS is saying on his live streams, not wondering what whose actual fandom is saying about him or something like like Eric just needs to be focusing on his business, and he keeps saying that he's going to do that, but then he'll put out posts that are like, oh, a lot of people have been saying this, or a lot of detractors have been saying this, and it's like, dude, just don't even talk about it.
You're Streisand affecting it. Most people don't even know that detractors said that, because your detractors largely don't matter. 100%. If you want to if you feel like you have to defend, then just defend against the big ones. Defend against EVS, defend against, Dick Masterson or whoever it is that, or his pedophile buddy, whoever it is that is coming at you that has like a platform, then defend against those. But you don't have to get into a fight with every, jackass with 8 numbers in his name on Twitter that has something to say. And I know that there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of them that just hate Eric because he's successful. They hate it because he's making money. And some of them hate it because a black man is making money. And there's no doubt in my mind, that's, and especially a black man that doesn't toe the line. So I understand he's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. I understand why that is. But you're in the big leagues now, man. You don't have to give a shit about those people.
Yeah, it's reminding me of Donald Trump. Someone just needs to take his phone away from him. And everything will be fine. You don't have to respond to every damn thing like he did. Just stop. Just someone take the phone away from him. Just let him be. If, like you said, if Ethan Skyver wants to respond to him, or someone else like Todd McFarlane, fine, go for it. But us, no. Me, no. I shouldn't even be a factor.
See, this is why we won't let Drew have Twitter, because he's got these books that are going to be coming out soon, and he's like, you know what? I think I'm going to get Twitter to promote my books. And we're like, no. And we take it away from him.
Don't do it. No, Drew, no. So I'm looking at ISOM number 2 here, and there is no editor listed. It is copy editor, Alan Ford, and assistant copy editor, Caro Brown. So, your copy editors are going to tell you that, whether a balloon's out of place, or whether something's misspelled, or there's a word missing, or a sentence doesn't make sense. They're not going to give you, a breakdown on the script and say, you don't need this, you should focus on this. This line doesn't work. They're probably not going to give you a lettering draft where they go through and they say, like, you got a bunch of panels here where he's driving up to a place. We don't need this. We didn't need this in the script. We didn't need to draw this. You don't need this much real estate to get you to a location. This is like the Ahsoka show where we see the ship coming out of space. We see the ship land. We see the boarding, the landing strip come down. We see Ahsoka walk out. We see her walk the mile to the temple. We see her stop to pick up some trash that's along the side of the road. This is like a Dave Filoni page. So as an editor, I would have told you.
It's the extended cut. It's like Lord of the Rings. You want to see them walking, for great lengths. Whether you
all of the walking in Lord of the Rings has purpose, Drew, and has drama, and has a soundtrack that sells it. You shut your dirty whore mouth.
Thank you, Aaron. Someone had to say it. It's about time.
As an editor, I would have never let that page get published.
I will allow. Yeah, I will allow I will allow hate speak of the extended versions of The Hobbit, but I do have a fondness for Lord of the Rings. I do want to pop in the comments real quick because we got some good comments going on. First of all, Vex Electronic is in the house. What is up, my brown sister? She said, MVP sounding mad rational. Sus as fuck. Shill? Max?
Vex, you caught me. I am a shill. But,
that's Vex's next video title right there.
Yeah, right. But hail Vex, good to see you, and yeah, thanks for stopping by tonight.
Also, we kind of touched on this just a second ago, but Armando Lopez says, I think Dick Masterson broke Eric. I agree with that to a degree. I think sometimes if you have someone coming at you to the extent that Dick Masterson was, you kind of put all your walls up and your just instinct is to react. Even if people are coming at you from a positive place of not all criticism is bad. Criticism we talked about this last week. Criticism can be really, really good. You just have to accept that,
And part of the complaint in the indie space is that pros at the big two can't take criticism. They cry and they call you names and they get mad that you criticize them and, gave them constructive feedback. So, what we're saying here is don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Good criticism can be instructive. It can help you improve. It can help you get better. And I do think that there is evidence that Eric is doing that. Obviously, bringing in Chuck Dixon. It's one of those moves. Like, all right, well, I can't do all this myself. I need to bring in some masters that I can learn from. And I'm sure that, Chuck has, given Eric all kinds of instructions. So it'll be interesting to see the next thing that Eric writes, like ISOM 3 or, whatever it is that comes out that he's on it. It'll be interesting to see his evolution as a creator.
Yep. Zax did put that trailer could have been fun if it leaned into the camp. I mean, I think if you notice that you don't have an A-class production and A-class actors, you make a pivot at that point and just have fun with it as opposed to trying to make it serious when it's going to be presented so poorly.
When you saw the finished product, like if I was in the room, I would have said, all right, here's how we salvage this. We put this out like it's the lost footage from a 90s TV version of Yaira.
Oh, that would be fun.
And we have fun with it. We have fun with it. And then everybody, anybody who tries to talk shit gets the response of, what are you talking about? It was fun. It was like, it was done like an old 90s show and what we were kind of used to getting. And I think people would have really had a good time with it.
That's actually a good idea. That would have been pretty fun.
You got to have a sense of humor about yourself. You got to have a sense of humor about what you're doing. And, in all things, I would say, be humble. It's just shut up and be humble is always like the best policy in any endeavor, and be like water, man. Let these people come at you and just be like water. Don't let them affect you.
Because guess what? If you let these people come at you and you decide to quote, be like water, you know what people like us are going to say? Hey, you took that like a chomp.
We're gonna say Eddie Izzard's gonna come out and say, "Oh, fair play to the Queen then."
Yeah, but instead he's over here being like, "Oh no, I got an NDA. I can't talk about what kind of accent that was." Don't ask me why I do like Mr. T. I pity the full voice when I do Eric. But anyways,
Eric does have that. He does have that deep, deep commanding voice. Yeah.
But it's instead of just kind of running with it, be like, yeah, we could have done better. Sorry, guys. He's got this whole someone's asking, hey, what accent was that? He's like, oh, I can't talk about that. I got an NDA.
Yeah, don't be serious. Just be like, hey man, it was all in good fun. Like, we had fun doing it. Hopefully you guys got a kick out of watching it. If he had just responded with, it was supposed to be Icelandic, but I don't know, it's kind of like Slavic Russian. It was an amalgam. I don't know what happened there, but hey, it's fun to talk about. You kind of would have just shut everyone down with that.
And this is like why I think I have a little bit of a conspiracy theory here, because on that same stream, he said something like, oh, sorry, Sasuke sisters, I broke the NDA. why would he apologize to the Soska sisters? And if you read ISOM #1, there is zero inclination that she is Icelandic. Zero that she is Icelandic, Slavic, Russian, Irish, nothing. She speaks just like a regular, like her dialect is very American. So I wonder if once the Soska sisters got on the project, they said, hey, Yaira can do ice powers, right? And we have a band called Norfrika, which is like all Viking people and stuff. What if she's Icelandic? What if she's like Swedish or something, or comes from Norway and she has like a cool accent? And Eric probably signed off on that. And then that's where the NDA came from. Now, like I said, that's total speculation and pooper scooper nonsense. So I can't verify that. But I wonder if that is why he said, "Oh, sorry, Soska sisters. Sorry about breaking the NDA." When it's like, she's your character, dude. What, you don't need to break any NDA. She's yours.
It might be you might be onto something. It might be a situation where that's like a story beat in the book that's going to come out that reveals like, oh, she came from Iceland, like that's where she's born and her, she spent her childhood. That could be it. I don't know if it makes a difference to be like, shh, we can't talk about that. We can't talk about she's from Iceland.
Right.
So,
right.
By the way, kudos and all the respect in the world to Anna, that Star Wars girl, for asking it.
Yeah.
Knowing that it might, it might be a little bit embarrassing, but it's a question that everybody's asking. So, I give so much credit to Anna for just, Anna is brave as hell, man. She's always on Twitter fighting off haters, like she's always in it for the fight. And so that girl is brave.
She's super cute, which also kind of helps like not get mad at her.
Well, yeah, when you get hit with the iron fist, it's in like this nice little cute velvet glove, and you're like, oh.
Now, do you think that she will be getting a night letter promptly because of why she asked or what she asked on that stream? Do you think that something may happen within the this group where I don't know, she stops getting invited to streams, or she gets a night letter, or she because I've heard of that happening, man, and it's not fun when it's like, oh, when you don't toe the line, when you don't fall in line, then someone's gonna call you out for it, and it's just sad that that's the case. But do you think that might happen?
I mean, look, here's the deal. If it happens, it's gonna be bullshit, and this is why I say that. She asked it in a very respectful way.
Yeah.
And she asked a very valid question that everyone was trying to tiptoe around because, they don't want to ruffle feathers. And look, here's my deal. We just said Eric needs to stop having yes men around him, and he needs to have someone around him that's not afraid to say no. That's a perfect example of this. And it's kind of like when you look at, who are your true friends? If your true friends are the people around you that are always saying like, oh, everything you do is amazing, everything you do is great, you're the bestest ever, I would question whether they're really your friends. If you got a friend that's like, hey man, I love you, I don't know if I agree with this, or I don't know if I think this was the best, that's probably a true friend. Yeah. So someone that's going to come out and be brave enough to say, I don't know about this one, they're probably someone worth keeping around. And and if the people in this group are going to get so offended or upset or whatever because she had, for all intents and purposes, the balls to just say like, hey, I mean, everyone's talking about it. It's the elephant in the room. So I'm just going to ask. It's going to be bullshit if they do kind of, I guess.
And you should be prepared for the elephant in the room. Like you should have an answer ready to go.
You should, and it's like, honestly, the way it came about was best case scenario of that question coming around. Like she wasn't rude about it. She didn't belittle him for it. She asked a very honest question. She did it in a playful way to kind of be like, hey, look, you could tell by her tone, like, and everyone's talking about the accent, like, just, I don't know. If I find out she kind of gets blacklisted because of this, I'm going to get mad. I'm like legitimately going to be pissed.
She can always come over here and slum it with us. The thing, it's funny that you mentioned the, you're having your true friends around you. The people that are going to be yes men are not your true friends. I just saw a video today of Muhammad Ali talking about how he didn't have any true friends. The people around him were all people that wanted something from him. And then he went into this poem that he wrote about true friendship. And I thought that it was beautiful. So if you guys get a chance, look that up. And I think it's very apropos to what you're saying, Josh. Is your true friends. I had a friend once, guy that I worked for. We were friends, and he was cheating on his wife. And I found out about it, and I went in and confronted it about it. And we had this big emotional like blowout. And he said to me, "If you were really my friend, you would support me in what I wanted to do and what I want to do."
What?
And I told him that was the dumbest thing I'd ever heard. I said, it's your true friends that will come in and tell you you're being an asshole, you're screwing up, you're about to ruin your life. And I said, the kind of friends that I said, if that's the kind of friend you want me to be, then you're right. We're not friends because we don't have a mutual understanding of what a friend is. I said, my friends, I expect if I'm being an asshole, if I'm screwing up, if I'm about to ruin my life, I want them to come and tell me. And if I tell them F off, I want them to whoop my ass and carry me out of there, forcibly, so that I don't end up in that situation. And I might be mad in the moment, but boy, will I be thankful later. That's what a true friend does. A true friend tells you unpleasant truths, not comforting lies.
Yeah. And then they're there for you to help you get through it.
Mm-hmm.
Wood Warrior says, or it could be backpedaling from negative reactions. Look, I think backpedaling or course correcting, I think how you go about it can determine how that is viewed. I don't think it's a bad thing. If you see that something doesn't work, I don't think it's bad to be like, yeah, okay, let's reverse and not do that. But I think how you speak towards, that topic is going to define whether it's backpedaling or course correcting, if that makes any sense at all. So, Vex said, I would genuinely like to glance inside his head. Why was this even considered as an idea? What made the trailer seem good to him? I don't even know. I think based on some of the way he's spoken about it, I think you can tell he doesn't think it's the best thing ever. But I kind of think they viewed it as, we pulled people together. A lot of people did favors for us. We spent the money to do it. Let's just.
I think the Saskas wanted to do it. Probably he didn't want to throw them under the bus. Like if he probably felt like he was between a rock and the hard place. I mean, I don't want to speak for the guy, but
yeah,
you have to imagine he was behind a rock and the hard place. It's like people were laughing about it. Even we were laughing about it, and we were, like we said, we're supportive of what he's doing. But we had a good laugh about it, and we're ready to move on. But he probably felt like he was in a position where he can't really yeah, that was bad, wasn't it? Because then he's like throwing the Saskas under the bus, and then they're going to feel bad, and you don't want to hurt your friends' feelings, all those sorts of things. So I'm sure it's a very complicated position for him to be in. But like we said, a lot of this can just be solved by not talking.
I'll also say, I think on a positive note, I think Yaira looked good. Like, I think they hired her based off of her looks. Like, she's tall, super athletic, very pretty. She has the beautiful blonde hair. She's got the look. She's got the Yaira look. And as like someone who would create a character, like if I created a Warhammer character tomorrow, and someone told me, "Hey, I can take your character and put it on a big screen, and we could make like a little 4-minute thing," absolutely, I would say yes, right? So I think there's a part of it where it's like, man, I would love to see my creation on in the context of like potentially a short film, and that's probably really exciting for him, and I don't blame him for that. And like Aaron said, I think too he also has to take into consideration a lot of the people that worked on the project too, because if he's like, yeah, this thing is shit, then all the actors are going to be like, dude, what the fuck, or like all the below the line people are going to be like, dude, we spent like 12 hours that day filming this thing. What are you talking about? So you as a CEO, you have to really manage a lot of what you are saying and discussing.
Agreed. We got some more comments here that I do want to hit real quick. Zach's put, I think they're going for a Man of Steel level seriousness. You can't do that on day one, on a one-day shoot with first-time actors. I mean, yeah, completely agree.
Not
and
just
then
first-time actors, but literally, yeah, I guess you could say, yeah, first-time, but they look pretty cost-effective when it came to the actors.
Yeah. Well, granted, we say that, but the cowboy hat guy that when we watched the trailer last week, I was like, why does he look familiar? And I mentioned this previously, but he was like the villain on Night Agent. which was Netflix's #1 show for 2023.
Oh wow! Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So like they got a legit dude there, and I promise you he expected scale. So I don't know how much they paid for him. Unless he's worked with the Sasuke sisters in the past and they've got like a friendship, and who knows, but
yeah,
he wasn't like a little chump actor.
A champ actor?
A chump.
The
He was a chump.
biography is something I don't want to see.
He wasn't a shield.
He wasn't the shield. He wasn't the shield with the bad toupee.
Wasn't the dolphin?
Vex put he monetized his haters and made that part of his persona. I will agree with that. It was only a matter of time till the same defensiveness and aggressiveness bled into his creativity. And that's the thing where you have to be careful. You got to understand. Anytime that I'm either working for a major company or I see people that are, I guess, kind of serving as the face of a company, I always describe it as you're a brand ambassador. So you've got to be careful with what you do and what you say, because at a certain point you stop representing yourself and you're representing that brand and everyone around it. And I think that's something he needs to think about as he tries to grow this whole Rippaverse. Vex also said that I am an angel. That is right. I am a vampire with the soul. Suck it, biatch. We have the one, the only Flaccid Phoenix in the house. Stop hating on this talented, young, beautiful black man. Flaccid has a crush. Flaccid. It's fine. It's fine.
Is he that young? I don't think he's that young.
He's early 30s.
Yeah, I think he's younger than I am. So, I mean, I could be wrong, but I do think he's younger than I am. Just a few more comments before we head on. Woad Warrior put accent gate. Yeah, yes. Well, it was rough. Off topic, but Flaccid is saying this is why he stopped premature ejection. Everyone said they loved it. Probably means they were just lying to us. I'm still mad that you're not doing premature ejection. I had so much fun on that show. I miss giving Gator a hard time. I miss giving AJ a hard time. Clearly, I just like giving people a hard time. So we got a few other people in the house that I do want to say hello to real quick. We have B.A. Turner that popped in. Hello, sir. How are you? He's got a book that he's putting out called Vigilante's Creed. Go check it out. And we've got Tim's talk. Oh, Tim. I guess you talked to your people and they let you come tonight. What's up, brother? What a picture. Yeah, I laughed so hard when I saw this picture. So, yeah. But, oh, yeah, BA, you're probably right. Sorry to tell you, but you are all official detractors now. Welcome. Yeah, I mean, look, if you're going to take a sensible conversation like what we're having and decide we're detractors, then at that point, you're the problem, not us. I think we tend to have balanced conversations, and we can have bold opinions sometimes, especially if I've had some whiskey. I let some things fly. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, it also seems weird that we'd be detractors when we outwardly and openly continually say that we support what he does and we like that he's making a parallel economy.
Right. I hope he continues to improve his products. So, do you guys have anything else that you want to say on this topic before we move on and talk about other people in the industry that need to shut the fuck up?
I think that's it. Like you said, Josh, I couldn't have articulated it better myself. I think at this point, if people take what we say and take what other people are saying that have rational takes, that have thought through this and are actually discerning, respectable, honest people, if you're taking that and trying to make it into detractor footage, there's something wrong. Like, we are not the ones at fault, right? We're not the bad guys at that point. We enjoy having these conversations because it's needed in any industry, and that's what makes people better. So I'm thankful that we are able to do that, and I'm glad that we can hopefully look at other people too that need to do that, because in the mainstream we know plenty. So
we know plenty. Before we get to the people, I'm just gonna say, Tim, I'm glad you're confirming that your sources let you be here, and he's gonna buy a Yaira T-shirt. They're only $5.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
There you go. I don't know if that's true or not, but we'll see. So who else needs to shut the fuck up in the comics industry? Let's look at Tom Brevoort, who's the new head editor. Jordan White has been replaced as the head editor of the X line in Marvel Comics. Tom Brevoort's here, and he's been a little petty. They released the X-Men trailer about a week ago.
Always been petty. Always been petty.
Man. Yeah, no, I know. I'm just keeping it focused. But they released the trailer for the new X-Men books coming out, and no one was talking about it. And then he decided to go to Twitter and Brevoort's gonna Brevoort, but he pulled a little surprise. No one's talking about the trailer, so here it is. And then that got people to talk about it, not because the trailer itself was good, but because it's not good. There is nothing there that is exciting. There's nothing there that makes me go, oh, I want to read this. I think Stegman did the art for that, and it's not his best work. It's just rough. And then to make matters worse, he then comes on and starts talking about some of the, I guess, continued lack of excitement that he's seeing and or not seeing. And people are coming out going like, yeah, hey, look, your creative teams don't really inspire anything from us. And it's gotten into some back and forth, but even to the point of people saying like, look, dude, just own up to it. You tried to get pretty much everyone in the industry to come in and do these books, and they all turned you down. And he's like, oh, really? People turned me down? Who turned me down then? Trying to play stupid as if we don't know. And, oh, hey, buddy, we know. So, Drew, I know you probably have some thoughts on this. So I kind of like, what you're the head of the X line. What do you think about this this lineup and these creators behind it?
I am praying to God that I could get the same numbers as to what Jonathan Hickman had, at that same level that Hickman did. There's nothing here as exciting or interesting as to what Jonathan Hickman originally presented with House and Powers. There's nothing here for that. I mean, like you said, Ryan Stegman's art, this is half-assed Stegman art. I mean, I've met Stegman. I've seen his art from the very beginning. This is not his best, like you said. And this digital art trailer they did, this is cool 20 years ago. All right. Yeah, that's amazing. But now, no, this just looks old, outdated, lazy. Like, this is something I should have done, honestly, with my lack of a budget for Unholy Nightmare. But no, my trailer is honestly better than this. It sucks. And I don't think he really realizes that. Or he does just want to admit it. Actually, you know what? Yeah, he does admit it. He does know it. He won't admit it. And
well, I think it's a nice throwback to, I think the trailer is a nice throwback to the last year that Tom Brevoort probably cared. You know, it feels like it is early 2000s. And I feel like that's the last time he really wasn't just running out the clock on his career, you know, just doing the job because that's the job he's got. He doesn't seem to be particularly interested in comics anymore. He doesn't seem to be interested in story. He just doesn't seem to be interested. And so I think it's just one of those situations where you've got a guy who's been in a position too long. And I think that's why Buckley was like, hey, this is where I want to put you. And I think it's a test. I think it's like, can you do this anymore? Like, or is it time to, you know, for you to shuffle off to greener pastures or to, you know, to hit the retirement farm? I think this was one of those, you know, this is what you're going to do, or best of luck in your future endeavors. And he's never liked the X-Men. He's been very upfront about that. Unfortunately, Tom Brevoort is upfront about a lot of things that he shouldn't be upfront about. I don't like the X-Men. I'm taking over the X-Men. I don't like the fans. I'm going to interact with them poorly. You know, I don't like my son because of the way he voted. You know, I don't like my life. Sometimes I don't know how I can get out of bed. These are all things that he's said on Twitter or intimated on Twitter. And it doesn't fill me with confidence that he is going to knock this out of the park or that he even cares to try.
Yeah, I mean, and on top of that, you have Gail Simone, who is just as vocal as he is. And granted, okay, she has been kind of decent on social media for right now, but the minute, you know, just all it takes is one comment for her to turn into just a cat in heat, and it's going to be nasty. And then her fans are going to get nasty on that person, on her. It's just all it's going to take for her, just one comment. I guarantee it. One voice of negativity.
Hey, Max, you have a cat. What does a cat in heat sound like?
Uh,
I love that he thought about it, and then it was like, why the fuck are you asking me? I know.
I was like, I can't even answer that.
Man.
Even if I wanted to, it doesn't sound good.
Or a bear analogy is like a pissed off wine ant who runs out of breadsticks at Olive Garden. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know what
more breadsticks, Alejandro.
You know what the real question here is? Which trailer is better, Yaira or the X-Men trailer?
Yaira,
because people talked about it. Like at the end of the day, no matter what the different, no matter the quality, no matter what people are saying, people talked about it and it got eyes on the product.
Oh yeah, yep.
Brevoort had to come out, and why would you ever tweet? Doesn't seem like anybody's talking about our trailer.
It was the most Jeb Bush you could possibly get on Twitter. please clap.
That tweet was like the definition of tell me this is dead on arrival without telling me this is dead on arrival.
But like the fact that you don't know, says you are out of touch with your audience. And
zero self-awareness.
So far out of touch.
Yeah, zero self-awareness.
Well, also this whole idea, I mean, it's very clear that he thinks highly of himself. I think that's fair to say. But this whole idea that, you know, people even talking about the creators that turn this down, and he's over here like, oh, like who? What? No one's turning this down. Is interesting because it's almost like, do you think people don't talk? Like, it's not like these are massive celebrity superstars. Like, yeah, there's some people that are some bigger names within the comics industry, but they're not like, you know, A-list people that shun themselves from society. Like a lot of these creators, we know, we've had conversations with, we've met, like they talk to different publications, they talk amongst themselves. Like word gets around. So I don't know if he's just delusional about, you know, how these industry works and what's going on around him or what, but I don't understand it.
I think he's hoping people would tip their hand. Like so-and-so said this, and then he'd be able to backtrack to where the leak came from. But you know, the fact of the matter is, yeah, I think that's what he's the game that he's playing. But the fact of the matter is, Tom, you got to realize people talk to other people. There's people that are on your staff. There's people that you work with. There's people that you talk to. There's people that are your friends that also talk to us. And we don't reveal our sources, but we do get them every now and then. People do tell us what's going on. Sometimes we get screenshots. Sometimes we get police reports. There's all kinds of things that come through. And,
sometimes we get videos. Oh,
and the fact they even tried to even considered getting him back. Oh
God. Okay, so that's actually kind of the fun of this. Let's hypothetically go through, because we do have some names. I'm not going to say how we got those names, but we do have some names, and they are verified, legitimate names. They come from super credible sources. Time out. I've got to show this comment real quick. Wasn't this the guy in Jurassic Park?
So
wait, wrong old guy.
There's a thing about older guys who have white beards who get that Jurassic Park hat. I don't know what it is. It's not just one. This is like turning into like a contagion, you know, where these guys get older, they get that hat, and it's like, no.
This is turning into potato faced dudes with the Newsies hat, like, you know,
right?
I believe it's called a fedora. Please get it right.
Is that a fedora?
No, I don't. It's more like a bowler. No, maybe that is a fedora. I don't know.
That's a fedora.
Maybe get one of the, you know what, Tom? Maybe mix it up. Maybe get one of those nice barbershop quartet hats. I'm sure Jordan White would wear one with you, and you guys can have a whimsical barbershop quartet. Look at us.
Let's look at this. So I have 11 different names here of creators that were approached that turned this down, and I kind of want to know what your thoughts are on for each of these creators, because some I think could have been good, and some I'm like, dude, why would you even ask?
Let's break it into would have been better and dodged a bullet.
Oh crap! Okay. We'll start off with the would have been better. So Rick Remender.
Yes, would have been better.
Yes,
would have been better.
100% would have been better. Like, but you know, he knows, and most of these people probably felt this way. They knew they weren't going to get to come in and tell their own story. They knew they weren't going to get to do a story without being interrupted with tie-ins and events and everything else. And they're like, nope, I'm out. But yeah, Rick Remender, I would have taken in a heartbeat. Jeff Johns,
much better.
Yeah, I would have said better.
Yeah.
What I'll say with Jeff Johns is I don't know if he's the right fit for the X-Men, but I think he's a competent writer and a good storyteller. I'd be curious to see how he handled the characters.
Yes, in the sense of what we have right now, what we're going to get, yes, he is leaps and bounds better.
Yeah, could have given us something different and interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jonathan Hickman.
I mean, that ship had sailed. They'd already bent him over, on Krakoa. Why would they even think that they could get him to come back?
Here's the thing, and here I'll put it this way. I think the one argument you would have had was, I'm not Jordan White, and I know you didn't get to do what you wanted to do, so I want you to come do what you want to do. And maybe, but yeah, other than that, I think that ship has sailed. However, I still think it would have been better than what we're getting.
Yes.
I'm gonna say this name. I think it's questionable. I tend to like his indie stuff more than I like his more recent superhero stuff, and I did not like his Lois Lane. But Brubaker was that Brubaker that did Lois Lane?
No, that was Greg Rucka did the Lois Lane.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so never mind. Take all that back. Brubaker, 100% would have been a better pick.
All in would have been great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he only got like $5,000 for the Winter Soldier movie, so I don't think he's itching to come back and create anything for Marvel anytime soon.
No,
only $5,000.
What is he doing now anyway? I don't. Is he part of the Ghost Machine or I don't know.
I think he's just doing his indie books. I know he's got graphic novels coming out that he's doing with oh crap! Why can't I think of the artist's name?
Sean Phillips.
Yes. He's still doing multiple series with him.
Yeah, those crime noir stories. Yeah.
Yep. So they're still coming out. Other than that, the only other person I would say that might be a win, maybe, or at least better, maybe, but I still think it's kind of on the same par. Maybe Jason Aaron, maybe.
No, he's responsible. He's responsible for the ruin. Well, he would have been better than this crop, yes.
Okay.
But he's also responsible for the ruination of Wolverine as a character. That started with him.
Yes.
And Punisher.
Yeah, Dad.
He had his shot.
Punisher.
It was bad.
I didn't even see. I tried to block the Punisher out of my mind. In that case, yeah, no, it's worse. He falls in the. We'll say he started the worst category. So let's look at some of the worst people. Tom King. Tom King was
dodged a bullet. Yeah.
Can you imagine? Okay, can you imagine Tom King writing Wolverine in this unsufferable, like mama's boy type of role? Like, I
can see him cowering and whimpering in the lap of Jean Grey every issue.
or Mariko's back and she's got Wolverine's balls in a little leather bag.
Oh,
well,
literally,
the most recent
happening.
The most recent Wonder Woman issue, he's got Wonder Woman telling Superman to sit down because she knows more than him. You know what I mean? Like, it's just
rather getting a pedicure
and getting a pedicure that too. But he loves cucking these male characters, and it really has become a weird fetish of his. Not just something that he enjoys doing, but it's like he gains some sort of sexual pleasure from it at this point. So
Tom King, I hope mommy saw it, bro.
Yeah. And like, to make matters worse, like, think about like what he would do with the character like Nightcrawler. He'd probably make Nightcrawler like hate religion.
Yeah.
And hate God. Like,
well, they do that now. You turn him into a murderer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that bothers me, but I think Tom King would make it even worse than that, and I can't. Next, dodged a bullet. Brian Michael Bendis. Not only have we been there, done that, but he ruined Bobby Drake, and his stuff has only gotten worse as he's gotten older.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, that's a dry well. That is a dry well.
That is what she said.
That well is drier than. Yeah, you know what? Never mind.
Yeah, so you think? I mean, I really, if you
know what
really,
I'm talking about, Zach. You know what I'm talking about.
He hit his drive after Dark Avengers. After all that he did, which I thought was great. I love the Dark Avengers stuff he did. After that, it just turned to shit. It just went steadily downhill right after that. And the minute he introduced Riri, he was done. I knew it. He was done.
Oh yeah. Next up on Dodged a Bullet, Kelly Sue DeConnick.
Oh, seriously, dodged a bullet.
If you don't like my politics, don't buy my book.
Has she written
dodged a nuke?
Yeah. Has she like been on any projects or written anything other than that Wonder Woman?
Bitch Planet. Well, she had Bitch Planet.
Did she? Not recently.
Wait, yeah. When was that? That was years ago, right?
Like 2012.
She did Aquaman for a while.
Oh yeah,
she did. That's right.
She's the one who got Aquaman canceled right after it made $1 billion at the box office.
Pretty much.
Yeah, took him out of the water. He was afraid of the water.
Yep. I'm afraid of the water, and I'm Aquaman. Yeah, that was interesting. Dodged a Bullet. G. Willow Wilson.
Yes.
Woof.
Yeah. Big one.
I will say there are times
on the team that I would have been more interested to see G. Willow Wilson than Gail Simone.
I mean, that's fair. And I'll say that some of what she's been doing with the Poison Ivy book has been good, but every time I'm like, hey, this is actually pretty good. And then she comes out and it's like utter shit. So
I don't understand her Poison Ivy run.
I don't really understand it either.
I think so. But yeah, like it's those first 6 issues, Max, we love those first 6 issues. They're fucking amazing. And then it just turned into lesbian fanfic right after that. It just got fucking lazy. Like T. Franklin was writing it. It's like, what the hell's going on here?
For all of the ruination that was visited upon Bobby Drake, I would say that equal ruination has been visited upon Poison Ivy. With this whole making her a lesbian, because now that's all she can be. She can't be an interesting villain. Yeah, and that's all that Harley can be, aside from rip off Wish.com Deadpool. And even Deadpool's not getting top flight stories anymore, so that's really saying something. It is the ruination of characters to switch their sexuality in the current day, because that is all that they're allowed to do from then on. Look at Bobby Drake. All he does is show up and go, "I'm gay, top men." Just like I'm. It's the '90s, and I'm on Will and Grace. That's the only thing that they do with him.
Hey, I like Will and Grace.
I like Will and Grace too, but let's be honest, he's just Jack from Will and Grace, but not fun. You took Jack and you just sucked all the fun out of him. That's what they're just writing him as a 90s stereotype. And it's like, as somebody who has had many gay friends, one here on the panel, I would like to say that in the words of our first lady, they are as diverse as breakfast tacos.
She really said that?
Not about the gays. She said that about Mexicans. Mexicans are as diverse as breakfast tacos.
Oh, Lord.
Let's talk about
it. Just got canceled. Let's talk about it. We got 2 more names here. So I'm going to go with one, and we're going to save one for last because it's just too fucking priceless. But the next one, Dodge a Bullet, Matthew Rosenberg.
Oh, God. Oh, that's...
He had his fun. He had his fun.
You offer me him or Kelly Sue, and I'm almost leaning toward Kelly Sue.
Really? That bad,
huh? Bad. Matthew Rosenberg has never written a single thing that I've thought was worth anything. And that includes however many kids walked into that bank that he got all the notice for. I thought that sucked, and I thought everything he's written since sucked. And let's not forget, he is largely responsible for Vita Ayala and Danny Lore being unleashed upon comics writing.
That's right, yeah. It's like, hey, you're black. You like to sell comics. You want to write comics? There you go.
You say sell comics.
Oh, you can't read? Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Well, they sold more comics when they worked in a small comic book store than they've ever sold comics by writing them.
Yeah.
Truth. There are facts here. And then last but not least, we mentioned Tom King and his cucking, but the ultimate cuck of them all, Brevoort actually approached Marvel to get them to reconsider their blacklist of Donnie Kates.
That's a big one.
look, we've talked about this before. So let's just remind people of what Donnie Kates has done to get blacklisted from Marvel. He had a massive deal advance to write, didn't deliver on any of that advance, and pretty much said, "Go fuck yourself." He had multiple public instances of kind of causing scenes. One at a Marvel party, one at San Diego Comic-Con. He had very clear substance abuse issues going on, which by all means, like, is not a joke. Go get help. But, you know, when you're having a mental breakdown in a hotel lobby that's connected to San Diego Comic-Con, probably not the best look. When you decide that you want to watch a guy fuck your wife, so you're going to stand outside of your house butt naked and, you know, stroke your meat while watching, and then get attacked by your neighbor who hits you with a baseball bat because they think you're some pervert because you're a fucking pervert. You know, that's a sign. And then when you're so drugged up that you crash the boat that you rented, hey, that's a sign. And when you are so messed up on drugs that you send porn videos of you and your now ex-wife to the Marvel editor team, hey, that's a sign. But hey, don't worry. We want to make sure we sell some books, so we're going to go see if Marvel will let us hire you back.
Oh, Donnie.
How? And the scary thing is like, he would have written a good story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he would have written a good book.
No, agreed.
Better than anybody on the anybody that is on the, you know, on there, and better than most of the list.
Yep.
Oh, 100. I look, out of anyone listed here, aside from maybe Reminder or Brubaker, he probably would have had the better book out of anyone else that was considered or is on these books. However, you know, there's a point where, and I'm not opposed to giving people a second chance, but I don't think enough time has passed. I don't think he's been remorseful because he's never really apologized for any of this. He's just coming with the approach of like, oh, I don't remember anything because I was in a car accident that gave me a head injury. It just seems like a cop-out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, let he among us
on social media. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Let he among us who hasn't crashed a boat into our house while watching our wife rail another guy, get railed by another guy. Let those of us who have done that, who haven't done that, cast the first stone. Oh wait, that's all of us.
All of us.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I forgot to add allegedly. Let's forget the fact that, as Drew said, there are police reports and videos and everything else out there that you can.
Yes, that people can look up if they want to verify that.
And on top of that, the one time he pokes his head out, you know, like the groundhog, the once a year, he comes on social media and says something stupid. And who's there to call him out? Mr. Aaron Sparrow. And
that's right.
It was beautiful.
You know, don't pick a fight with me because I don't care.
Dude, how crazy
and he was
is
treated
it
back into that hole and never came out.
How crazy is it that he probably woke up from a bender, came on social media, saw that there was another cancel mob going on, tried to join in because he's like, oh, is this 2017? Is this 2016? And then realized that it wasn't, and quickly deleted every one of those tweets that he made. Like, dude, bad look.
And I will say again that as much as I had to BTFO Donnie when he tried to he tried to get the pity party going, and I said absolutely not. As much as I felt like I needed to BTFO him in that moment, I really do hope that Donnie gets help. I hope that he comes to an understanding about the damage that he has been responsible for in his own life, that he takes accountability for it. And I think when he reaches that point and he comes back and he has that, hopefully has that humility of like, guys, I really had the world in my hands as far as, you know, the comic business is concerned. And I absolutely blew it. And, you know, I hope that, you know, I don't expect you to believe me right now, but I hope that I can earn a second chance and you know, earn your fandom and maybe write some good stories again. As soon as he does that, all is forgiven. Come on back, Donnie. We wish you the best. We want you to write good stories. We want you to be back in this industry. You know, we're not the side that wants people to be destroyed and their lives to be destroyed and them to kill themselves. That's not our side. That's not who we are. We want you to be better. We want everybody to be better. We want you guys to stop spazzing out over an election from 2016. We want you guys to be happy in your own lives. We want you guys to not hate the fans. We want you to write stories that, you're excited about, that you want the fans to respond to, excitedly. We want you not to have an adversarial relationship. We want the industry to be healthy again.
Yep. It's almost like the theme of tonight is, hey, stop talking. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
We have some comments that I want to get to real quick because there's some good conversations or some good laughs here. But we got Armando Lopez. That post from Brevoort was just sad. It really was. I mean,
yes.
The fact that the X-Men of all comic brands, the X-Men is getting no attention, no hype, nothing. It speaks volumes. Because if you go back 10 years ago, it wasn't. When you're talking about characters that were losing steam, it was like, hey, Catwoman was building up steam there for a while, and now it sucks.
Catwoman
compared to X-Men.
Yeah, right now, Josh, this is the time when all of the creatives, they should be doing as many goddamn interviews that they can every single day, getting out there in front of the cameras that they can, promoting the stories, talking about the art, talking about the characters, talking about what's coming up. Why people should be excited, build up that excitement for the release of that #1 in, was it July, I think, or May? But anyway, they should all be out there right now, jumping in front of this, doing as many interviews as they can. But no, they're not. It's just they're just playing on Marvel, doing all the work for them. This is lazy.
I want to say this. Maybe there'd be more people that Tom could call up to possibly write good X-Men stories if for years he hadn't been keeping a blacklist of people that were critical of him online. And of Marvel Online, because he said on more than one occasion, I'm going to remember your screen name and you're never going to work at Marvel. He delighted in that.
Yep.
So, maybe you've cut your own throat. Maybe by coming out 2 weeks before or a week before you did the trailer and saying on your Substack or your little newsletter or whatever the hell it was that the comic fans were cretins. Maybe that was a bad move. Maybe all the years of gaslighting and of shit talking you've done against the audience. Maybe that was a bad move. Maybe looking like a depressed Bucky's logo is a bad move. Just all of these things, Tom. This is all at your feet. You need to stop. You need to stop being adversarial with your audience. That never pays off for anybody.
Okay, time out. You said depressed Bucky's logo, and I was like, Bucky's? That doesn't. Holy shit! It really does kind of look like Bucky's.
I've been sitting here thinking it for the last 2 minutes.
And then all I can think about is one of my friends. Whenever we're traveling to Dallas, there's a Bucky's on the way, and we know we're stopping at Bucky's. But every time we get close, and they've got a huge, like, massive, tall sign that's like a mile or so before. But every single time she goes, "There's that big old beaver." So now every time I see Brevoort, I kind of want to be like, "There's that big old beaver."
Hey,
oh god,
nice beaver.
Hey, nice
you
beaver.
wouldn't be wrong.
We're gonna go through a few more comments. Armando Lopez again, like your boy Zach said, the X-Men are tainted 100%. It's going to take some time to get this back on track and win over the good graces of people. Yuri, did they lose Pepe Larraz? Drew, do you know what the plan is for Pepe?
No idea. I don't think he's part of the lineup. I don't think he's even mentioned in the additional titles. He could be one, but I don't think he is.
I don't think he is either, and I can't think of anything that he's been announced for or on. So
he did a cover for the X books that all the people that love Krakoa and pirated online tried to cancel him for. So that was great.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
We've also got the Breen himself, Eric Breen, in the house. But thanks to Greg Rucka, there are no more fascists because Lois' computer killed them all.
Queen Slay.
Nice.
Queen Slay.
It's about
if
time.
a character does something in a book that nobody reads, did it really happen?
Did it happen? Nobody knows.
Oh, that was during the Bendis Superman Dark Times. Oh, God.
Yeah, it was. We try to forget that, and most of what's come after as well. Yuri, Colin Bunn would have been a better choice than Jason Aaron.
Agreed.
I will get. You know what? I will say yes, because I will say his Shadow Man run he did for Valiant was actually really damn good. Don't get me wrong. The art by John Davis Reese, whatever the hell this guy's name was. It was really damn good, and the story was a lot of fun too. And he did a good Shadow Pact, I think series was what it was called. It was a lot of fun. He knows what he's doing. He can tell a fun superhero horror story. So maybe it could have fit with X-Men. I don't know, but I think he does still have the talent.
Let me name 3 people that could have possibly been. They're about the same. I'd say about the same tier, or at least thought of the same way. I think they're much better, but let's just say that they're the same tier. You could have had Robert Venditti. You could have had Jeremy Adams, and you could have had Jim Zub. You could have had those 3. You probably could have got those 3 guys to do the X-Men.
Yep. And
I know it doesn't check all the ESG check boxes because they're all men, but
yep. But at the same time, they're not huge names. They're quality talent that delivers quality books. They deserve a break. They deserve a run on a massive major title. Yeah, I mean, I think the fact that they weren't approached, and maybe they were, and I just don't know it, but that's kind of a miss.
They were all passed over for Eve Ewing, who is basing her story around Kitty Pryde as a barista in Chicago. Whoop-de fucking do.
Listen,
exactly
though,
what I want to read.
They went to Brian Michael Bendis first, and I will say Eve Ewing wrote a better Ironheart than Brian Michael Bendis. So I will at least give her that where she is due. Where I'll give her that due.
Brian Michael Bendis, Brian Michael Bendis, the comic book writer, the man allegedly obsessed with Kitty Pryde. That Bendis, yes, that Bendis, indeed. And then we have Armando Lopez again. Armando's been having great comments tonight. Come on, guys. We all know we're hoping Tom Taylor would come back and save the X-Men with mustard in hand.
God damn it.
I mean,
I'd be more excited for Chuck Austin to come back.
Guys, what are you talking about? You didn't like X-Men Red with the real Wolverine and with Honey Badger?
Are you talking about X-Men Green, the one where she killed that poor gas station worker?
No, I'm talking
that's
about
what's going to happen.
I'm talking about X-Men Red that Tom Taylor wrote with Laura Kinney as Wolverine and
mustard and bigotry and.
Oh, you mean the Wolverine? Okay.
Yeah.
The all caps,
Yeah.
the Wolverine. Yeah,
that's right.
Well, you know what's going to be funny is that Kitty's going to be a barista in Eve Ewing's book, but then a sea turtle is going to choke on a Starbucks straw, and Nature Girl's going to murder Kitty Pryde. I'm sorry, Kate Pryde.
Kate Pryde. Is she still a pirate right now? By the way, is she still a pirate, Kate Pryde?
A butt pirate?
Is she going to be a pirate barista? Here's your coffee, matey.
And if the coffee shop is not pirate themed, I will be surprised, Josh.
Oh,
it's going to be pirate themed. It's right there.
Like
it's going to be. It's going to be like Captain Coffee Beards.
It'd be like that restaurant on Bar Rescue that John Tapper tried to rescue, like that pirate restaurant theme thing. Yeah, I could see that happening.
Their drink with the most caffeine is Walk the Plank. Yeah. In response to Donnie Kates,
I don't think you have accepted Kitty's new bisexuality. She will not be walking any planks, Josh.
Oh wow, I forgot about that. Gosh, I'm sorry, and I apologize for getting such a bold, brave, and beautiful moment.
It's nothing but the Charybdis for Kate Pryde.
Yeah. In response to Donnie Kates' outside voyeuristic actions, Fear Monarch says, meat stroking good time. Indeed. I mean, my favorite aisle at the grocery store is the meat aisle. Who would have thought? It's because I'm from Texas. Adam Frey, Donnie was a no-show at Fan Expo Philly, and I drove 90 minutes to go see him. I'm assuming he was on a bender. Hope not, but that was a wasted trip, man.
That wasn't just one show. He did it for several. It wasn't just one.
Yes. So has he been attending recent shows?
The last one he attended was San Diego Comic-Con. But after that was it.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I hope he gets better. We kind of said this, but that was a trend, unfortunately, with him for a while. And Armando, is that really all the stuff that Donnie did? Yes. Allegedly, but yes. Yes. There is proof out there.
We are basing what we are saying on rumor. We are basing it on actual like police reports.
Correct. Everything that I have brought up tonight, and I will say that I have mentioned for the sake of somewhat protecting everyone else on this panel, in case anything comes out of it, there is evidence and proof of it out there. I will just say that we can get if we needed to. If Donnie were Republican, all this stuff would be more public. He's a former Bleeding Cool writer, so Rich gives him a pass. Unfortunately, yeah. And when all this stuff we did a show kind of highlighting some of the stuff as it happened. It was back when he decided to come back out of the woodwork and harass the Glenn, the comic book shop owner that got attacked for, having opinions, and then Mark Miller defended. But we kind of talked about this then. Had this been a member of a different group, the way people responded to him doing these things would have been very different as well. And that's shitty. I think bad behavior is bad behavior, no matter what side you're on, whether it be political or otherwise. I think you should always call out bad behavior.
My response would have been the same no matter what Donnie's allegiances were.
For sure. Fear Monarch, let me drive that boat. I mean, look. If I know you're gonna crash it anyways, like I'll go like bumper boats with you. Why not? Let's do it.
It's like the kids in the hall when where they're showing like the last night of Buddy Holly's life, and he's just talking about how he can do anything. He's Buddy Holly. He's got like a monkey on his shoulder. He's like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna let the monkey drive the plane because I'm Buddy freaking Holly.
I'm Buddy freaking Holly.
I'm Donnie freaking Cakes. This monkey's gonna drive the boat.
Mark McGrath in the house. Mark McGrath says, you guys are huffing stronger stuff than Donnie if you think he can write a coherent book in 2024.
I'm going to say even high Donnie is probably a better writer than some of the people on that list.
Yeah. At least it'd be interesting. Yeah. But
it'd be like a Morrison book.
Yeah. Which is I'll gladly take that. But it's just ever since that Hulk run, it's just been incoherent garbage. You could just really tell when he really just went on a bender, when he just really just went off the border. It's crazy. You can tell exactly when it happened.
Oh yeah. Mark McGrath also added in Vanish, just kind of vanished.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle and I pointed out there's one issue. I think Max, you probably remember. There's one issue specifically in Vanish where it really is life imitating art, where Donnie is the character in that damn book. The talking about the overdosing, the meds, and his wife just leaving him and everything. It's like, this is sounding like a very, very real life imitating art here. This is pretty too close to home.
Well, that's the one. I was just going to say, isn't that the book that Kyle got the original art from?
Yes, it is from Stegman. Yeah. Because that has a great Stegman art in it. I got to give him that. And like you said, if you compare that Stegman art from that to this X-Men shit, it's night and day. You can tell he doesn't have the energy there. He is not having fun.
Oh yeah. Just a few more comments real quick that I do want to get to, because honestly, some of these are freaking gold and I just can't pass them up. One real quick, I want to say hello to Andrew Gonzalez, who showed up. What's up, brother? I hope you catch the playback. We've been having some fun conversations here tonight. We've got Eric Breen. The other members of the team will be so impressed with her mocha lattes that they will give her a parade.
Won right there.
That will be issue number 1. And then by issue number 3, we're going to have, she's about to murder Kate, but then notices her tattoos. Then they go in the stockroom and scissor. 2024.
First, they have to do the mutant symbol. They have to go like...
Scissor me, timbers.
As if we couldn't tell that fucking Zebra Girl is a fucking mutant.
There's a character named Zebra Girl.
Oh, I don't even know if she's called Zebra Girl, but it's
don't forget the great character that poops soft serve.
Oh man, sheesh.
Or don't forget Barf, who barfs up stuff that comes to life, like the Cosmic Cube MacGuffin from what was it, a Secret Empire? Remember that? He saved the day by barfing up the Cosmic Cube.
Yeah. We're running behind, so I'm gonna skip one topic real quick. because we've all talked about it. So to get past this next topic, I'm just gonna say, Heidi MacDonald, shut the fuck up, take your one dress and go away. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Well, you found a young picture of her.
Dude, have you seen some of the actual like younger pictures? I needed something that was more landscape than portrait. So
no, I have not. I've not seen. I've not seen those.
It's been an interesting progression. I'll just leave it at that. All right, we kind of touched on this towards the end of last week, but in all of this, that we're telling people to stop talking. Someone that I don't want to stop talking is Larry Hama, who kind of came out and talked about the reality, because someone was asking if he would draw pictures, pretty much do a commission for him, but for free. And Larry's like, yo, I don't have time for this. I can't do it. Plus, I can't afford to do it. How old is he, Aaron?
He's in his 70s. I think he's like 75.
Yeah. He's in his 70s. And he can't afford to retire. And this man pretty much created the G.I. Joe characters that we know and love. Like, he's the one that really developed them, came up with them, gave them backstories, made them who they are. He's done work on Wolverine. He kind of helped shape the Wolverine that we know and love today. I think if you ask people some of the best Wolverine stories, his stories are going to come up. But this man is in his 70s, cannot retire because he needs money, because he's not getting residual checks. He's not getting commissions on so much work. And it's shining a light on one of the worst aspects of this industry. And it's just that people are doing such world building and defining character work and stories that are then getting translated into major motion pictures that are making a shit ton of money. And he's a little old pissant that, well, he just wrote the comics, so why should he get the money? And I think it's bullshit.
He just created this world and built out this IP. Why should he have any kind of executive emeritus position at Hasbro? Why should he get, now granted Hasbro's going broke now, but why should he have ever had that, even during their heyday? This man who created so much. And in a lot of ways he has shot himself in the foot by deciding to be political and denigrating people like your boy Zach, who would have given him work and would have given him a better page rate, I'm sure, than he's getting from even Skybound. He could have been doing Jawbreaker stuff. You think your boy Zach wouldn't have been like, oh man, I can't wait to work with Larry Hama and have him write some of these characters that I came up with. He would have done it in a heartbeat. But because Larry decided to believe the political hacks that are in the industry that see every kind of criticism as an alt-right attack, because Larry, he decided to lie down with dogs, and now he's woken up with fleas, and those fleas are all broke, and they can't help him. And despite that, I have great love and respect for this man, for the things that he's created. And I think that he deserves better, even, being crotchety and angry in his old age, and being overtly political when it doesn't serve him. I still, the things that he's given us and the joy that he's brought into, my life as a G.I. Joe fan. And even, I read his, Nth Man comic books, I loved his Wolverine run, Strike Force, I've never known how to pronounce that. All the things that he's written that have brought me such joy. I really wish that he was in better shape, and I think that the industry owes him more.
I kind of look at it from this perspective too, and we're just going to do comparisons. And I think it's fair to say, on a pop cultural level, on a world stage level, in terms of recognition and popularity, you have a character like Wolverine. And I get that he didn't create the character, but he really helped shape that character. But you have a character like Wolverine, and people all around the world are going to see Wolverine. They're going to know who he is. And then you look at a character like Harry Potter, and so many people around the world know Harry Potter. And you look at J.K. Rowling, her wealth, and I get there are things that don't align here completely. But when you look at how much money J.K. Rowling has versus how little Larry Hama has, you have to look at this and go, there's some sort of injustice here. Not to knock Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter. I support J.K. Rowling, all this stuff. But, I think she's worth, what is it, 6 billion, 60 billion?
Yeah. And I will say, Josh, one interesting thing is, I can't believe I'm saying his name positively, but Kyle, he brought up an interesting point on Friday night. It's that he did all these projects, but I mean, he was paid money. He was, but like, what did he do with all this money? That's Kyle's question, and it's a legitimate question because I'm sure he did get paid handsomely for a lot of these projects, especially Bucky O'Hare, which he did for Neil Adams. But it's like, did he make some bad investments? Was he just bad with money? Did he did he invest in powdered wigs? But I don't know. Or did he legitimately not get paid that much? Kyle does have a point. Maybe he was right. I don't know. I don't want to say he is, but I think both sides are true there.
Yeah. I will correct my numbers real quick. J.K. Rowling's net worth is $1 billion. She sold 600 million copies of Harry Potter.
Only a billionaire. Okay.
Oh, I know, only a billionaire. But my point in that is saying, these writers deserve the credit, and I think sometimes we look at books as being a more mature or higher brow content than comics, and I don't think that's always the case. But to Drew's point with this, like, Larry Hama made the comment that his page rate hasn't changed in 30 years. I think that's sad. I think he deserves more than that. But it also brings up the point that he was probably making decent money 30 years ago. And, what did you do with that money? And the only thing I can think of is there's a point in time where comics and, people were getting rich and they were kind of had this rock star presence. And I think of like Grant Morrison and his quote unquote overnight success with Arkham Asylum. And him getting the phone call, pretty much being told like, hey, you're rich. This is sold so well. And, I think there's a point too, where you're in that life and you're in that world that you think, oh, this is just the beginning. And part of me wonders if that was Larry's thought process is, oh, this is just the beginning of everything that is to come. And that it would probably even grow. And then it's by far done the opposite of that. So,
there could be poor investments. There could be, if he had any, if he played the stock market, he could have lost. He probably bought himself and his family a home. He probably did some things for his kids, and probably figured like, the money would be pretty good. He'd have a little bit better career than he did, and maybe didn't invest the way that he should. But now he's in a position where he can't retire, and I still, no matter what, I find that sad.
It is sad.
Yeah, I agree. It is very sad, and yeah, I guess people said in the comments, yeah, he should be doing better. And it is heartbreaking, especially with Hasbro. I mean, he's written 90. If you look at the math, he's done 99% of the comics for G.I. Joe, and it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
If he got a single penny from every G.I. Joe action figure sold, we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy to think of. Armando said Larry Hama's situation's heartbreaking. This man is a legend and deserves better. Completely agree. And the sad thing is he's not the only comics creator that's either ended their life in this situation or is currently in this situation.
Well, I think Josh, I think you were saying earlier about J.K. Rowling, and you were kind of equating her with Harry Potter and Wolverine, or like the success of Harry Potter and the success of Wolverine. The actual creator of Wolverine, he died penniless as well.
Yep.
So it does, like, that does actually track. Like if you are trying to compare the two, yes, I think you could say that Larry has defined the character, but the actual creator of Wolverine, unfortunately he passed away in the hospital without any money.
Yeah.
And that's like you said, that whole situation is it's really heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Here's some other names of people that have passed away penniless. Steve Ditko, Jack Kirby,
yep,
the creator of Batman, Bill Finger. Hey kids, comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad. Comics creators, publishers or parent companies need to do more to take care of at least these legends and what they've contributed, especially if the films are going to make so much money.
Yeah, speaking of Jack Kirby, I was shocked to discover that the most he was ever paid for a comic was for Phantom Force. He did for Image Comics, and that was like a year or so before he kicked the bucket.
But don't worry, everybody. Don't worry. Steve Ditko is being honored posthumously this year as a Disney legend at D23, even though he never worked for Disney. They only purchased his work when they purchased Marvel. and that honor will not come with a check for his family.
Yeah,
at
no,
all. So
at all.
Nope.
And you know what? If it came with a check for his family, I would respect it and appreciate it more. But since it's not, I'm just kind of like, I mean, thank you for recognizing him, but we need to do more and we need to do better. We're gonna go ahead and move on. We're gonna get to the real talk portion of this and kind of fast track this since we're pretty much at 10 p.m. Central Time. So, Eric Breen jumping in with a comment here. Steve Ditko had 6 figures worth of original art in his apartment that he didn't touch but elected not to sell either. I mean,
as far as I know, there was an understanding. Like, I've heard stories that Steve didn't really understand, towards the end of his life, the value of his work. And that when kids would come to his apartment and be like, "Did you draw Spider-Man?" He'd be like, "I sure did." And he would give them drawings of Spider-Man, and you would flip it over, and it was the original comic boards that he drew for the book that he was cutting
say the same
up.
thing. I've heard that.
To do little drawings for people. So a case can be made that he didn't really understand the value of his work. He was a recluse, and he was kind of he was a Randian, and he was kind of like off on his own at that point. So it's tough to say what he knew and he didn't know.
Dang. Yeah, I would have had no idea.
Yeah. We're going to go ahead and go into Real Talk real quick. And for our first topic in Real Talk, guys, some Bo DeMaio update feedback real quick. But first and foremost, X-Men 97 debuts tomorrow. Aren't we so excited? Who's going to watch?
Wait, does it really? Oh my God.
It debuts tomorrow with the first 2 episodes, I believe, drop tomorrow. Maybe it's 3. It's 2 or 3.
And Disney said, "Can we get some X-Men 97? Hold DeMaio."
Hold DeMaio. Good one.
So it's interesting. It's interesting because the director of the series is kind of getting thrust out and being forced to do interviews due to Bo's quick and sudden exit. But he has praised Bo in a number of these interviews, which I kind of find interesting because it's like, hey, you've done something bad enough that we're going to fire you. We're going to fire you roughly a week before the show debuts, and we're not going to let you do any promotion for it. That's all very telling. When we had our whole opening section of last week was on this, but I'm curious to see how people respond to the series. Some of the reviews that I found and listened to, a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's a vibe," and I don't know if that's what I want from the X-Men. So I'm curious. I'm not holding my breath. Drew, are you gonna be watching?
I wasn't planning on it, but I just thought about, it might be fun if we do a live watch along stream or whatever. We don't show it. It's just live with a fake background. We're watching it all at the same time, getting a live reaction of it, the first episode. I think that'd be kind of fun.
I mean, look, you're looking at 2 episodes? That's roughly 40 to 60 minutes, depending on how long these episodes are.
40 minutes. Yeah, 45 minutes.
We might have to do that tomorrow if y'all.
Yeah, I'm down for it.
We'll look at it.
Yeah,
actually, Max and I are going to a thing tomorrow, but yeah, you guys should totally do it, and you should have kazoos ready just in case it's bad, so you can go.
Watch, I'm gonna end up loving it, and Drew's gonna hate it. I'm gonna be like, "That was fun." Drew's gonna be like, "Are you fucking kidding me right now?"
Nerd fight.
Josh is gonna be like, "It was a total vibe. I don't know what you're talking about."
Total vibe. What are you talking about?
At the end of the night, I really felt that they were giving X-Men.
Yeah. Did you not see how hot Cyclops and Gambit looked? What are you talking about? You didn't like it.
Was that a dog whistle, Josh? Did you not see how hot?
Wow. What?
Let's talk about
it. In other news kind of with this, I do want to point out that with the Bo DeMaio issue of all this, there have been conversations. There have been people coming out saying like, "Oh, his OnlyFans didn't even have nudity." That's a lie. It had nudity. It didn't at first, and then got to it, and then there's the whole $50 video thing going on.
In fairness, as the promotion for X-Men 97 ramped up, he felt it was only appropriate to show off Cyclops.
A one-eyed monster.
Gene.
The other interesting thing that's come come out about this is the people that aren't acting like there wasn't nudity on there are some of these people are trying to make the argument that, well, how is Bo doing OnlyFans any different than an actress getting naked in a movie? And I think showing your tits, because the person that was referenced was shit, what's her name? White Widow, Yelena.
Sydney Sweeney?
No. Yelena Belova, actress.
Florence
Pugh.
Yeah.
The comparison was Florence Pugh showing her boobs in Oppenheimer versus Bo DeMaio, doing this. I think there's a distinct difference here. I think there's something
I was disappointed in her for that. Let's just go ahead and put that out.
I mean, that's fair. But there's I don't know. I think there's a difference between that, potentially having sex online or filming yourself having sex online.
Well, soliciting your naked body for money. That's different,
Yeah, you're prostituting yourself.
No, he was doing it for free. See, so this is like the Lawnmower Man situation about don't call him no whore in front of me, old man. I'm not calling him a whore. Whores do it for money. He's doing it because he likes it.
Damn.
Yeah. I think the question here would be, what was actually in the videos that were behind the $50 paywall at that point? Like the pay-per-view on demand type thing. You can watch my video for $50. But also, like showing something versus potentially doing a sexual act. I think there's a difference there. And also
we do draw a line between acting and just doing it on the internet for fun.
Well, I mean,
profit.
also like, I showed my boobs, which I think Americans can sometimes be a little like, oh my God, with nudity. But I do think and look, you can disagree. I think there's tasteful nudity and I think there is pornographic nudity.
Sure.
And I would say if you've got a video that's of you, pulling a Donnie Kates, stroking the meat, I think that's where it gets pornographic in terms of a distasteful way.
I think it's also different when he's like soliciting himself as like, hey, I'm an X-Men person, producer, writer, whatever on this thing, and also go check out my butthole. And that's a little bit different when, Florence Pugh is like, I was hired for this scene, and this scene is an emotional moment between me and Oppenheimer or whatever it is, right? I feel like the context is completely different.
Right.
Oppenheimer isn't like something that was being marketed to kids.
Yeah.
Correct. And I'm not going to go drop my link tree in, Reddit chat rooms or boards or whatever the hell. Look, I'm old. What? I'm in they talk about me in the chatty rooms
on the Reddits.
Yeah. So anyways, people from Disney have come out to say that they find the whole OnlyFans situation, quote unquote, creepy. And that is the quoted word. And I agree, it's creepy. So
yeah, good.
Moving on, we're going to quickly run through this list of Marvel cancellations and talk about how shocked or not shocked we are. We mentioned one briefly, but yeah, quietly canceled stuff. Eternals 2 officially announced as being canceled. Shocked? Are we shocked?
What? Sean is. I'll say Sean Hidashiko's shocked.
Oh no!
It was the great. Eternals 1 was the greatest Marvel film ever made and one of the greatest films of all time.
Oh,
I'm shocked because
that's not hyperbole. I'm not exaggerating. That's not hyperbole.
No, I know it's not.
They said that it was going to save lives.
That's right. Well, maybe the second one being canceled will save lives because none of us will try to commit seppuku in the theater.
Yeah.
Ayo. So what I can tell you is Kevin Feige is fighting for Eternals 2 because he thinks Eternals 2 could be a big film. Maybe you can learn from the mistakes that you had, but what I will say is that while we're not getting Eternals 2, you will definitely see some of these characters pop back up. So,
oh yay.
Which I don't mind. Like, I won't see it, but you guys might. What I will say is I would take more Kingo. I thought he was a fun character. I wouldn't mind if he popped up in a few things. I would take Lauren Ridloff's Makari. I thought she was the best thing about the film. I loved her speedster stuff. I thought it was great action. I'd even take Angelina Jolie's character. And if they bring back Icarus, sure. And I can say you're probably going to see... fuck, I can't think of his name now.
Star Fox?
No, well, you'll see Star Fox. You'll see, him pop up. But Home Skillet, freaking Saltburn guy.
That's still
Joker in the Batman.
Druig?
Druig. You're probably going to see him pop up again because he's tied so closely at this point with Makari and with Star Fox. And I don't think they're going to waste having someone of that star power. Both in the recognition Barry Keoghan's getting, but also home dude that's the singer, Watermelon Sugar guy. I don't listen to modern day music. Huh?
Harry Styles,
that person.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know that was a song, but I knew that he was the singer guy that played Star Fox.
He's a very popular musician.
Yeah, the guy who had the affair
popular
with
the kids.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. Anyways. I don't think we find this shocking at all. I think it's the smart choice to make. And yeah, the other thing that was quietly canceled, Captain Marvel 3. Gosh.
I didn't know that they were even considering that.
Yeah, I thought that was what the Marvels was going to be.
They had, right, Captain Marvel 3. They had plans for a Captain Marvel 3. It's been squashed. But when the production
they never
budget,
did Captain Marvel 2.
That's what
How do you
in
do
the
Captain
Marvels,
Marvel 3.
Yeah, you could say they never did Ant-Man 2 because they did Ant-Man and the Wasp. But if this shocks anyone, I'll just remind you the production budget for this film was 207. Or the production budget for the Marvels was 270 million, and it made 206 million.
And remember that gets halved at least by the box office.
Oh, of course. Placid wants to know if we can get a Barry Keoghan tub scene in the MCU. Maybe. We'll see.
Let's put him together with Ezra Miller and just see if people can tell the difference.
Oh, God. They're both weird looking
Better
people.
than that Joker scene he did, I'll say that.
Oh, God. Look, between the tub scene and Ezra Miller and then the Joker scene, I'm getting sick to my stomach.
Was he the Joker in that shitty The Batman?
Yes.
Was he that terrible Joker?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, God.
That was terrible. I hated watching that.
Yeah, it was not good.
Well, both the scene was awful. He was terrible in that scene. So yeah.
Wait, are you talking about the tub scene from Saltburn, the Joker scene, or every scene that Ezra Miller was in?
All the above?
Exactly.
Every scene of the Batman?
There's stuff I liked in the Batman.
I'll never watch that again. Only seen that once in theater, never see it again.
I'll watch it again at some point. There's stuff that I really liked about it. The length of it makes it a commitment for sure.
Yeah.
The other confirmed cancellation, Ant-Man 4.
Edge of my shock.
Okay, listen. If Ant-Man were the first character other than Thor to get a fourth film, I would have fucking rioted.
Yeah.
2, none of the Ant-Man films performed well. The first one was okay. The second one was okay in terms of performance. I liked the first film a lot. The second film was filler. And this Quantumania was fucking trash. I've already said that.
Well, it shouldn't even have been called Ant-Man and the Wasp. It should have been called Ant Family. And, with very little Ant-Man and the Wasp.
True. But it's awful. It's bottom tier along with Thor, Love and Thunder and She-Hulk. I think they are about, they're that and Secret Invasion. They're all as bad as you can get. And Marvel thought it was Kevin Feige and the people behind Marvel thought Quantumania was a good film. And this was the film that for them realized they had a problem when it didn't perform and people vocally spoke out against it because they legitimately thought they had a blockbuster on their hands. And I don't understand.
Look, they were planning Shang-Chi 2. What does that tell you about what they know about?
Oh no.
Well, we have some fun updates here. So, King Dynasty officially canceled, not happening. Something else is going to come in the wake. Shang-Chi 2 is now back on.
Oh.
Yep. So I had said last week it's off. They're kind of combining. They're doing what I said should have happened. So they're combining some ideas that they had for Shang-Chi. They're getting rid of a lot. They are going to take elements of what they had planned for Shang-Chi. It's going to be, from what I understand, there's going to be some type of a time travel element there, looking into the history of the 10 rings. So you're bringing in the 10 rings elements there. They're incorporating the legend of the Iron Fist and the history of it, as well as kind of having some tie-ins with Wakanda and the history of Wakanda.
That's too much there. That is too much.
Yeah, sounds like a muddled mess.
Well, so the history of Wakanda, they're going to have a show called like The Eyes of Wakanda that I think is supposed to be an animated show, really embracing the history of it. But so it's going to briefly touch on Iron Fist, the Legend of the Iron Fist. It's going to briefly touch on the 10 rings and that. And then this is going to briefly just tie to say, hey, that's there. And I think that's the only crossover. The main story here is going to be Shang-Chi, him looking into the 10 rings, and there will be a stronger connection of that with the Iron Fist, the Legend of the Iron Fist there. Specifically, it sounds like they're going to take the whole Pirate Queen storyline, and you're not going to get a present day Iron Fist, but a previous Iron Fist. And
she's going to be a chick, and she's going to be lame.
Yeah, pretty much. But they're going to tie those two connections there with the dragons. The fact that
I love the time travel aspect. Look, I'll say this real quick. I do like the idea of time travel. That's cool, in the sense that, okay, let's take it back to the 1970s. Let's fully invest in the 1970s martial arts films. Have it like that type of style, and the blaxploitation. Maybe bring in Luke Cage from that era. Just like have fun with it. Take it back to the 70s. Just have fun with him. Like as like
it's not allowed. It's not allowed. Simu Liu said all that was racist. Drew.
Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see Luke Cage. I mean, you could probably definitely do some fun. Like, I think if you're gonna do time travel and you're not gonna play with the idea of a kung fu film, especially 70s inspired kung fu film, that's a mistake. At least have it in there a little bit.
Bullseye, Josh. That's it. I mean, that's when they're very popular, and that's the best. That's what they should have done.
Yeah, but it looks like it's going to be almost like an opposition of Shang-Chi is kind of like going against an Iron Fist, because the drag from what I'm understanding and hearing, the dragon story is going to be a huge element of this, and that how these dragons, kind of like in the comics, gave these totems and the powers to these people. And you know, when you're the Iron Fist, you kill the dragon, and then Shang-Chi is going to be promoting the dragon, and then whatever the villain situation is going to be, they're eventually going to team up. But we'll see what happens. I don't know. I think they had to at least find one new character to push, and this is probably the easier sell over everything else that's come out that's a new character. And I expect it's just going to go to kind of help lead into Secret Wars. But
this is the one movie where if they replaced the hero with a female, the Xialing from the movie, I would have been absolutely fine with. I would love to see a Shang-Chi movie without Shang-Chi, because Simu Liu sucks.
Well, and that's what I was gonna say. Simu Liu is the biggest problem, and you know, they're still trying to figure out the Disney or the China situation of it all. But the one person that I honestly wouldn't mind being tied to this is Daniel Destin Cretton. I don't think he's a bad director. I thought he did a solid job. But from what I understand, he's still out. He's not on board anymore, and that makes me nervous because he's got so many other things going on. He just got announced for Naruto. Like he's
that, and I think he knows the prestige of directing a Marvel film that is gone. That is long gone. And the rats are leaving the ship, jumping the ship right now. And I don't think he wants to have any part of what Marvel's doing or what's left of Marvel.
Right.
What do you guys think that Marvel based their decision on to keep Shang-Chi, but to cancel all these other projects? Like, was it box office? Because I'm sure that there were other films that did better than Shang-Chi in the box office. So then were they trying to do it by like ratings, or I don't know. Maybe they just have more story to tell with Shang-Chi, but it seems
smaller cast. I think smaller. They don't have quite the ensemble.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, so So box office is definitely playing a role, and that's Bob Iger wanting things that are you know, a little more certain, I guess. And then even looking at what they decided not to move forward with, I'm pretty sure Shang-Chi performed better than all three of those that have been officially announced. And Shang-Chi, I think, is getting a little bit of the benefit of the doubt because it was still, quote unquote, in that COVID era where people were nervous to go to the theaters. So, you know, but they need, if they want it to be successful, they've got to mend ties with China, and you know, Simu Liu there is the problem. He's the problem with that. So
I'm looking forward to them losing another $200 million on this.
For sure. We'll quickly go through because I want to respect y'all's time. Next up, Ironheart. Look, the TV show is done. It is done. They filmed it. It's done. It doesn't have an air date. It's most likely not coming out.
Take the write-off.
The thing that I will say is you're gonna see more of Riri. Just don't expect her own show. Iron Wars is still gonna happen, and I would say expect to see some of these story elements fall into that. But
let's have Don Cheadle lead a film. That'll result in box office success.
Yep.
Well, he's a scroll, so it won't even matter.
God, the dude looks like a 200-year-old turtle.
He looks shriveled. Yeah, he looks like it's sad. Yeesh.
I like Don. He's a nice guy. So, but yeah, he looks.
I'm sure he is a nice guy, but like it's way like nobody wants to see 70-year-old War Machine.
What I
he
will
looks like an old man. Really, it's bad.
What I will say in defense of Don Cheadle is I think he's actually a really good actor, and I would like to see him actually get his moment because I think he can deliver. But you've got to give him the chance to.
I'd like to see it and see him get his moment in another franchise.
I would also like Mahershala Ali to get his moment to potentially do Blade, but I don't know. By the time they finally finish that, I don't think he's even going to want to do it.
Yeah, we may not see
He's going to be 50 by the time that comes out. Jeez,
God, I know. We may not see Mahershala as Blade, but I promise you, Blade's coming out. They're putting way too much work to make sure that.
I was going to say, yeah.
Flaccid says recast Don with Terrence Howard, please.
Don't be
that. Sure.
Yeah, don't be surprised if you see Terrence Howard pop up in Secret Wars. Just throwing that out there. Vision Quest, Wonder Man. So there was these are supposed to be separate shows coming out. Wonder Man has also been filmed, by the way. Like it's filmed.
Wow.
And so someone from Disney Marvel came out and said, like, oh no, like you're still gonna see, we still have tons of plans. We can't wait for you to spend time with Simon and get to know that character. But here's the deal. From what I understand, it's a similar situation as Riri. They're not doing the shows. They don't think the shows will be a success, but you will see the characters and they will highlight and focus the characters. Where and when? For this specifically, there's talk of doing just a West Coast Avengers and pulling stuff that they filmed for Wonder Man to use in that. But
are they going to have to refilm it with a white guy so that Wonder Man is actually in this?
Oh no, they're all about what it's Abdullah Mateen, right? Who they cast? I can't remember the actor, but they are dead set on keeping him. They think that's a good pick, and he's a great actor. So we'll see. But that was a weird race swap. Nova. So again, another situation. They had a Nova special planned that's scrapped, but we're expected to see Nova pop up somewhere else in this whole cosmic adventure. So I think Nova could have actually been a really fun movie if they did it as a movie, not a special.
They would have to
done it before they ended the Guardians.
Yes.
Yeah. And they would have had to bring Silver Surfer into it. They would have had to bring a good Adam Warlock, and they would have had to do the Annihilation storyline, and then I would have been up for it. But
oh no, agreed. Like that could have been awesome. In general, I think you could do some fun stuff with Richard Rider, but it seems like it's too late, and it should have happened before the whole like Thanos of it all.
It's dead. It's all dead. Just stop. It's already dead. Stop with the Marvel Universe already. It's over. It's done.
Those were all...
Wait 5 years and reboot. Sorry, guys. It's over.
Yeah,
yes,
those are not
show...
guarantees. Those are long shots. Those are not fucking guarantees. Yeah,
you know what would be less of a long shot? A movie about long shot would be less of a long shot.
I know.
Hey, that'd be actually kind of cool. Yeah.
That could be fun.
I can see that. Mojo World? Hell yeah.
Spiral? Come on. Spiral in the trailer alone to get people to go, what?
We shall see. We shall see. That is going to wrap up the show for tonight. Real quick, we'll say goodbye to our friends. We'll start off with the nerd down there doing his little like arts and crafts project.
Who, me?
Ooh,
now I paint your silver pants blue.
Exactly.
Right there with you, Max. Right there with you.
Hell yeah. No, thanks for having me on, man. And I appreciate you letting me kind of listen in and add my comments as I, paint my little figurines here. But no, I'm always happy to be on here. And this is like one of those shows where if I'm not on, I like genuinely watch it. And that's not a lot of shows that I can say that about. So I love being on here, and thanks again for having me. And you always come up with some great topics, and everyone is a nice voice of reason, which is why I'll have you guys on Sunday streams. But yeah, I'm looking forward to hanging with you guys soon.
Max, what do you think about this comment from Flaccid that says, please know the MCU cannot be over. I've invested too much into these Funko Pops.
Oh, God.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, poor Flaccid. It's okay.
So is Bob Iger. I hate to tell you guys,
yeah.
but he sold a bunch of his Disney stock and he invested heavily in Funko. And if that doesn't tell you that this guy should not be running a major corporation, I don't know what does.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah. Badness. Max, if people want to find you, where can they find you?
They can find me on my channel at Maxfield Von Priestley, or just MVP. And I mean, I do have the Warhammer channel, but it's been on hold for a little bit just as I've been getting my masters done right now. But looking to kind of getting back into that hopefully soon. But yeah, if you guys want to see more painting stuff, Sunday mornings. If you guys wanted more comic shop talk, Friday evenings and Sunday evenings. But yeah, thanks again for having me, brother. This is always fun.
Thanks for hopping on. I appreciate it. Aaron, I know you've got to bounce soon, so I'm going to go to you, sir. Where can people find you if they would like to?
You can find me here on Tuesday nights with Josh on Popped by Culture. I'll probably show up on some episodes of Cherry Popped. I am on Thinking Critical with Wes, often on Comics Aficionados, and we do a podcast over there that you can subscribe to on Patreon if you want to hear more news, views, and rants, if I may offer all due respect and apologies to Clownfish TV. And you can find me on the Twitter at Aaron_Sparrow.
Nice. And yes, I think we had talked before about how I haven't really fully experienced Star Trek. So that's something we'll probably have to loop you in on for me to get my cherry popped on. Other than that, Dolan, aka Drew, aka I write comics, so I have more than one name. Where can people find you, sir?
You can find me on Facebook as Dolan Waddick. You can find me on Instagram as Dolan_Waddick, where I'll be posting updates on all the crazy comics I got coming up. There's a lot of stuff I'm working on right now. I wish I could share, but I just can't share yet. I'm waiting for the go on that. These guys have seen those pages, and there's some exciting stuff coming up this year. Trust me, they're coming up this year from Marat Michaels that I wrote. You guys are going to love them. If you love action in comics, and you need testosterone, these comics will boost that testosterone for you. I guarantee it.
Hell yeah.
I know it boosted my tea when I was reading it this morning. Oh, yeah. I went to work being like, I'm a man. And people were like, what the fuck is going on? Is he okay? And then I just responded again with, I'm a man. And they're like, okay, well, he's drunk. I am Joshua MacDonald. You can find me here every Tuesday since this is my show. I mean, I guess I'm going to be here, right? Maybe one week we'll let the inmates run the asylum. That could be fun. Yeah, every Tuesday I'm going to be here. We have, again, the show's launching soon, so stay tuned for Cherry Popped, date TBD. We have Marvelous Monday dropping April 1st. I'm still in my dispute with Disney, those fuckwads. But yeah, we'll have that prepared and ready to go soon. And then, of course, you can typically find me some Saturdays on Thinking Critical with Wes, most Sunday nights with the MVP himself, Max Von Priestley, doing Max's Man Cave. And you can typically find me on the internet either talking about how I dislike a certain community or posting pictures of my dog. Who knows? It's give or take. But thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you'll have a wonderful week. Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And then I will see you on the flip side.
Get the fuck out!